also, Jamie, on the pictures is that all the players were actually generally happy to hug him at the end. Potter, you know, we all been there. You know, when you hug your coach, just a quick one. Yeah, right, good game. But they cannot you. I'm talking in general. But it's the way they were really happy for him. You could see that they were happy for him. And as you said, you know, I've been thinking about this situation and about Potter, and every time all I have when I see him is empathy. Whenever I see him, like you feel like you want to give him a hug. You know, and their players...
A quick one or a good one?
No, a good one.
A good old squeeze.
A long one.
Yes.
Stay here. You know, no, I'm happy for him, so he will sleep a tiny bit better tonight. But then tomorrow morning, problem.
One of the things we talked about was the fans, right, and the lack of patience that they were having, particularly with Graham Potter. It felt like it came more so from the side of the fans rather than the ownership in Todd Boehly. So I guess I just wonder, does that now change just because of one game, or that game and the Leeds result? Does that switch? Are the fans now on board with him, or how does that work?
No, the fans aren't going to change on one game, but I think this gives him time to get them on board, if you like. So he's going to be there till the end of the season. Now, there was a question probably 4 or 5 days ago where I think journalists around Chelsea were getting fed from the club, or briefed, whatever you want to call it, that he could be on a knife edge in terms of his job and his position. He's won both games, and, you know, that'd be massive for him as a manager. And I just think that buys him time to the next sort of quarter-finals of the Champions League. And once you get into that stage, you're almost at the end of the season, so it'd be ridiculous then to change it. They're not going to make the top 4 in terms of league position, but that could be the way they make it. Well, that's the only way they're going to make it in terms of winning the Champions League. So, and they have got great pedigree. You think of some of the atmospheres we've seen at Chelsea and the run that they had with Thomas Tuchel, the history they've got in European competition, so they can use that, you know, to really help them. But that cements him there to the end of the season. Whether he's there at the start of next season or not, I still don't think he will be.
OK, so we saw another another game this evening, the Champions League, high-scoring one, this one between Benfica and Bruges. 5-1 the score on the night for Benfica, which means it was 7-1 on aggregate. Bruges well and truly out of the Champions League, and Benfica have booked their place into the quarter-finals. We'll bring you highlights, analysis, reaction, all of that to both of these games in just a minute after a short break. Post-game coverage of the Champions League here on CBS Sports Network and Paramount Plus. Kate Abdo, Thierry Henry, Jamie Carragher, Micah Richards. Good to have you all with us. We're going to take you through some of the action from the game between Chelsea and Dortmund. Chelsea winning 2-0 at Stamford Bridge, 2-1 on aggregate. That meant after Dortmund had won the first leg 1-0 in Germany. Let's go through the first goal. Raheem Sterling putting Chelsea in front, Micah.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned before the game, get yourself in an area where you can make the difference. He gets a little bit of... They needed that little bit of luck, and they got it.
I think you described it really well off air when you talked about it. Was almost like watching the finish. It was like watching
the
Sterling.
first one was when he was at Liverpool.
Yeah.
The way he finished that. Then a bit of Man City, and now he's at Chelsea, he finished it.
So the winning goal for Chelsea that made it 2-0, there was a little bit of controversy surrounding that and how it played out. So let's take a look at how this one broke down. So we had a penalty.
I feel attack because I'm putting myself in that position. You know, you've got to defend and your arms are next to your body, but they are the rules right now. So I think we think it's harsh, but I think we all probably think it's a penalty. OK,
fine. So Kai Havertz steps up to take the penalty.
Encroachment. So you see that he was behind the line and he cleared it.
The penalty wouldn't have been retaken.
Even though you've encroached, it doesn't make that much difference if the ball then lands at you.
Right.
So if that had been the ball would have landed at Ben Chilwell and he'd have put it in the goal would have been disallowed.
OK.
Why is he stood there, though? I don't understand why. Why don't you just go to 5 yards to left? He's on the line. Do you know what I mean? He's in the
D is part of the box.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. If he goes 5 yards to his left, he's fine. But he's standing in the D.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
OK, so let's take you out to our favourite FIFA rules expert. Christina Unkel is with us tonight for this one. Let's rewind a second, first of all, Christina. Just your take on the fact that the penalty was given. Good call from your perspective?
Yeah, the penalty decision was correct. I was actually a bit surprised that referee David Mackley didn't get that exactly in live play. And the reason that creates that barrier that prevents that cross from happening, that is the most current interpretation for handling offenses. So surprised you didn't get it, but correct on the VAR to make that recommendation. I knew this was going to be a recommendation for VAR and proper penalty decision.
Christina, you said you were surprised the referee didn't call it at the time. Now, in refereeing circles, or maybe people who were assessing the referee, would that almost be like a black mark against him in some ways? Because it doesn't matter, because he still got to the right decision eventually. But are you actually judging referees about how many times they actually get the right decision without using VAR?
Yeah, no, and correct. And this year would be, yes, it's a clear and obvious error VAR recommendation, so the VAR gets a positive for this one. But when we talk about decisions on the field for the referee, we're removing the VAR when there's an analysis, when there's an assessment. The question is this a difficult decision for the referee? It's a very difficult decision. For example, the referee would never have the angle. That doesn't go against the referee and their assessment scores. However, here, because he has the angle, he has the perception, and it's an expected decision by the referee on the field, that would be something that would be marked up in his observation.
So I'm sure you heard Jamie's kind of breakdown of the encroachment rule and why that penalty was then retaken. Did he get that right? What was what was your perspective on that incident?
Yeah, so in penalty kick situations, it's very important to know, one, usually where the ball is, whether it's in the back of the net or if it's not. Here in this particular situation, though, because you have clear encroachment from both teams in this play, the referee could have even decided without the intervention or help from VAR that this encroachment could have occurred essentially because they're basically standing in front of him at the time the ball is kicked. However, here it's clear that Özcan has encroached in this play. I like how Meeks pointed out that he is in that semicircle. Now, why that semicircle exists is only for kicks or from penalty kicks, because the players must at all times be 9.15 meters or 10 yards from this penalty kick. And that is why that semicircle exists, because from that kick all the way to the outside of that little semi impacts the play and has encroached, then VAR is able to. Let's say Özcan didn't impact that play and the VAR and the referee had not called encroachment in that play. VAR cannot intervene in those plays only when that encroaching player impacts. So it was the proper recommendation once again by the VAR. And I can tell you Mackley is going to have to be thanking his VAR a lot tonight for helping him on those two KMIs or key match incidents.
Well, Christina, thanks for the praise, but it's Big Meeks, not Meeks. Let's get it right. Let's get it right, please.
Christina, good to see you, as always.
You all as well.
See you soon.
Bye.
Okay, so second time around then, let's take a look at Kai Havertz.
Same way.
No, I went the other way.
Why did you, what was in your mind to go the other way?
Because he knew I wanted to go that way. I should have done a Kai Havertz.
So you just got second guessing
Did the keeper go that way, though? Or did he? Which way did the keeper go?
I sent him the wrong way on the first one.
Yes.
And then we had to be retaken.
So you went the other way, but which way did the goalkeeper go?
He went the same way.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, yeah. But what I'm saying is the mentality of that's why I was asking Thierry when the game was going on about that, how tough it is to take a second penalty. I mean, I'm asking you. I've done it.
Yeah, exactly. You know. Now, first of all, to go and take the first one.
Has that happened to you?
To retake it, yes, and I changed sometime, and sometime I actually went the same way. But what I like about Kai Havertz is, forget about retaking it, the way he is this season, the way he is at the moment. He's not scoring. He already went to take the ball, responsibilities. He misses, he goes again and take it. So you have to give him a lot of credit for that. And I thought he was going to hit it in the middle hard, remember? And he went the same spot. He just did it better.
What about Kai Havertz's performance overall tonight? How would you assess that?
I thought he was good on the first goal. You could see he held the ball ever so well. It reminds me sometimes, very little of a Robin back to goal. The way he can hold the ball. Robin van Persie was very good with his left foot. The touch was always immaculate to try to bring people along. This is why I think out of the guy that used to be wingers or 10, he plays as a 9 because back to goal he can hold the ball well. Now he needs to make sure that he can transform that into more goals because you can play off him.
I think Havertz is a strange player in that there's a lot of players at Chelsea who haven't really performed. You know, Ziyech has been there. You'd probably even say Pulisic's been there. Players coming in those attacking positions. Raheem Sterling hasn't really set the word. Havertz has done better than all of those players. But is it still enough to be the main man for Chelsea? It's sort of in between both, and that's why he always plays. He played under the last manager, he's played under this manager. But I think most people would still look at Havertz and think, is that enough to Chelsea for them to win the Premier League? Or I say win the Champions League, scored the winning goal in the final, but it still feels a little bit short of what the other top teams have in Europe and the Premier League, even though he's done OK since he's been to Chelsea.
Well, with that result, Dortmund are now out of the Champions League and focus their attention on the Bundesliga and trying to win that. Jude Bellingham is with Nico Cantor at Stamford Bridge.
Jude, thanks for your time. It's a tough pill to swallow. Talk me through what went wrong today.
I think we started the game a little bit too passive. They got in many times in the first half, and they probably could have made us pay in the first 10-15 minutes, to be honest, especially on the counter-attack. They were really dangerous tonight, and we didn't manage it well enough until the goal, really. And the goal, especially the second one, gave us a bit of a kick up the arse. But until then, we were quite laid back, and we didn't really press them with enough intensity.
Would you like to have been on the ball more?
Yeah, definitely. I think you want to come to these kind of stadiums and control the game a little bit more, control the emotion, you know. When they start getting chances and they start putting us under the pressure, then they build an atmosphere and they can get on top of you and start to create successive chances. And yeah, we kind of were made to pay for that. It felt like it was kind of coming, and we didn't really do enough to swing the tide of the game.
How come you don't think you were able to dictate the game as much as you'd like?
I'm not sure. I've just seen the possession stats actually after the game, and it said that there was 60-40 for us, but it felt like we didn't have great control. In all honesty, it felt like they could have scored at any time, and you know that's something we've got to look at. But I think after the second goal, we came out with a lot more fire and a lot more intent to do damage. And yeah, we were unlucky. I mean, I've had a big chance I should score. Marius had a couple where they've made a block, and yeah, good defending from them. But to be honest, I should be scoring.
Did you guys not feel like yourselves, given how prolific you guys were offensively? Today you were shut out.
Yeah, I think we tried to do the things that we've worked on in the last few weeks that have made us so successful. We had openings, but didn't really create anything clear. Like I said, we had a lot of the ball in areas that aren't going to win you a game. We've got to review it, we've got to look back, but it's important that this doesn't kill our momentum going into the rest of the season. We've got a lot of big games coming up. We're really competitive in the league at the minute and still in the cup.
Yeah, that was the last thing I was going to ask about the Bundesliga. It might seem like the end of the world right now, but you're very deep in a title race.
Yeah, I was just saying to the lads there, you know, don't let it ruin the momentum that we're building. Obviously, it's awful that we've got to go out after we've done so well to earn a result at home, but that's the game. It's disappointing, but you know, there's a lot still to play for us.
Yeah, thanks, Jude.
Top man, thank you.
I mean, you would mention his miss before, and you have to respect that he takes ownership of that in front of the cameras, right?
What I respect is that troll. He talked about them having all the opportunities. He talked about him missing the opportunity. He didn't talk about the penalty. He didn't complain about anything but about them not being good enough and finding a way to reassess it. That's also the sign of a guy that has his head on his shoulders. You know, he didn't lie about anything or try to hide about anything. They were not good enough. Let's go and try to win the league, and that's about it. Chelsea were better on the day.
It's a class act, isn't he? I mean, you see in his interview there, he's so mature. I mean, he's so young as well. Everything about him, I love. He didn't have his best game today, but it's just because Chelsea were the better team, and he can't always be the best player on the pitch. But they can focus on the league now and drive them on. I think in the interview as well, he said he spoke to the lads and told them to keep their heads up. So he's like the leader of the group at such a young age, which is a great thing to see. So, yeah, wasn't meant to be for them tonight, but they can concentrate on the league now.
Yes, so Dortmund are out of the Champions League. So too are Bruges after a big loss away in Lisbon to Benfica. 5-1 was the final score on the night, which was 7-1 for Benfica on aggregate. We'll bring you highlights, analysis, lots more chat about that one after a short break. Long one more time. So Champions League post-game. The other match this evening was the game between Benfica and Bruges. Benfica had already won the first leg away from home 2-0, came back to Lisbon and just put in a bundle of goals. Let's rattle through them for you so we can get through.
But this is what we're talking about. Across it, he's cut across it, and it's gone into the top corner.
So that's one of the best goals you've ever seen.
In recent history, it's one of, yeah. I said one of. Yes.
No, recent. How far do you go back?
Last 10 years.
He said in the break it's the best goal he's ever seen.
No, I didn't say ever. I said one of.
Top 5?
Top 10. In the last 5 minutes.
It's the best goal he's ever seen scored
Tonight.
at Benfica's ground tonight in the last minute.
Hold on, you're just trying to get social clips now, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to do there.
All right, listen, we're going to go to a very quick break. We will hope to hear from Graham Potter, Blues manager, who came into the game tonight against Dortmund under pressure. Will certainly feel much relieved after that result tonight, and Chelsea progressing through to the quarterfinals. More after the break from Stamford Bridge. Today, Chelsea and Benfica advance to the quarter-finals. Tomorrow, it is 4 heavyweights for 2 more spots. AC Milan take a 1-goal lead to Spurs, whilst Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe and PSG face early elimination at the hands of German giants Bayern Munich. That is the very definition of must-see, that game. You can watch Bayern Munich PSG live on CBS, and you can second screen Spurs AC Milan live on Paramount+. Coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern for you. We're coming right back after a short break. Welcome back to our coverage of the Champions League. We're going to take you straight out to Stamford Bridge and listen in to Chelsea manager Graham Potter, who is speaking to our very own Peter Schmeichel.
Graham, thank you very much for talking to us, speaking to us. Congratulations on the win. How do you feel right now?
Fantastic. So proud of the players and the supporters. It's a big night for us. We knew how important the game was. We wanted to go through. Over the 2 games, I think we've played 2 good games. But in the end, we had to get the job done, and we did. So, delighted for the players.
Tell us about the pressure that's on a manager in your position. You know, where you've gone through a spell of results that you have, and then, of course, you come away with a 1-0 defeat in a game you probably should have won with the chances. And then to this game here, what's that like for you?
Well, we thought we made real progress against Dortmund away. We thought we played a really good game, had some good chances, like you say, unlucky to lose. And then we played Southampton at home here, and we lose 1-0, and we play a poor first half, and all of a sudden, pressure mounts, and it's the nature of the business. So 2 defeats, so we had to bounce back against Leeds, and tonight was important for us because, our league table is where it is, and we wanted to progress in this competition. So the pressure's to win, the pressure's to go through, and delighted, like I said, for the players, the supporters. We've all been suffering a little bit. It's an understatement, a lot. So nice to win, really nice.
Of course, you need the little breaks to go your way. And it did today with the penalty. What do you think about the penalty, especially the second one?
Yeah, it's. I'm not going to complain about the law, that's for sure. And we're on the right side of it.
No,
So,
what do you think about the second penalty? That was a question.
Well, I'm happy it went in, that's for sure.
You never watched it?
No.
No, I saw that.
No,
You never.
no, I didn't watch.
Why was that?
I didn't watch the second one. I watched the first one, and then he missed that one. So I thought, I'm not going to watch this. I'm just going to wait for the crowd's noise, and then I can celebrate.
Yeah, well, you're through to the quarterfinals. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you very much.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tells the story, that, doesn't it? The fact that he couldn't bear to watch that second penalty when he spoke about the pressure that he has been under personally, the team.
One of the top teams in the country, a team who has a realistic chance of winning the biggest honours, and it can be taken away from you so quickly. So, yeah, that was a huge moment for him. I think, all of us in here are delighted for him that he's got that result tonight, and give personal level. I don't think one game would ever cloud your judgment one way or another. He wouldn't have lost his job tonight if they'd have lost just because of tonight. It's because of what's gone before. So the flip side of that shouldn't go the other way. It's more of Chelsea, the club, and the way they've been over the last 20 years, really. And
Do you think that's different, though, now, with new ownership?
What's different?
In terms of, they would have probably changed the manager 3 times over with these results, if you're being totally honest. But Todd Bowley has stuck with him and backed him, because a lot of owners might have said, listen to the fans and their sort of, I won't say aggression, but they're upset with results. But the owners actually stuck with him and been a little bit more patient. And that could be the new regime for Chelsea going forward.
Well, you say they would have been patient, but if these last 2 games wouldn't have gone well, I think that would have been the end of it. And any manager now, no matter who you are, even a team who are promoted, if you go sort of 10 or 12 games and you've got 1 win in that, you're going to be getting questioned. And that's never mind being at Chelsea. That's if you're a team struggling near the bottom. But the thing, what I would say about Graham Potter is the fact that you changed Thomas Tuchel, who is a Champions League winner at Chelsea. He's managed Paris Saint-Germain, he's managed Borussia Dortmund. He's got a bigger pedigree than a Graham Potter, if you like. Now, when you go in, you're talking about given a manager time. And people talk about Arteta, and sometimes people talk about Jurgen Klopp. I think it's completely different. Arteta won the FA Cup within about 4 months. Jurgen Klopp was in a Europa League final and another cup final within 6 months and qualified for the top 4 the year after. Now, with Graham Potter, the problem is if you don't hit the ground running, you don't go, yeah, but he won the Champions League there, or he won a league there, so I believe in what he's doing. A lot of the Chelsea players will look at him and think, he's just a manager from Brighton. Now, that might sound disrespectful, me saying that, but I know that's how players will look at it. I had Rafa Benitez, and he struggled initially when he first came in the first few months at Liverpool. But as a player, you go, he won La Liga twice with Valencia. So you believe in his methods and his ideas, and that's the problem I think Graham Potter's got, is what's gone before in terms of his success, or I wouldn't say lack of success. He's had success, but not in terms of what Chelsea are used to from managers.
All right, let's take you out to Stamford Bridge where Peter Schmeichel and Nico Cantor watched that game live. I guess I'm just interested, we heard about the fact that the stadium felt a little bit quiet from the Chelsea fans initially. There was the sense of anxiety, right? How much did that switch throughout the game?
That was quite quickly, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I think they felt confident as the game went on.
It was... when we were doing the last little bit before the game, the crowd started to be very, very noisy. And then there was that little sort of the first 10 minutes where Dortmund seemed to be in charge and had I think 72% possession
In the first 15 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of nerves here, but after that it was.
And after the goal, I think things really simmered down, and Chelsea felt that they could take even more control. I was talking to Kepa on the tunnel, and he said we should have even put them away in the first half, even to just be even more calm in that second half. But the fans felt like they had control, because I think in the game you did see that.
Chelsea needed a little bit of luck in this game, and in all fairness, they had all the luck they could ask for. You think about the first goal, Sterling kind of tackles the ball and it jumps up perfectly for him to volley the ball in, and of course a penalty. I don't know. Obviously, we've done the interview, so I don't know what you guys in the studio you said about the penalty, but I don't think it's a penalty. I think it's a little bit too cheap. But these are the small breaks you need in the situation that Chelsea has been in, a team with great players, and it's not gone their way. This could be a massive turning point for them, and in all fairness, they should have won more than 2, I think.
Yep. And Kepa definitely was saying that they needed that little push. They've got Leicester at the weekend, and they just need to keep on putting these results together, and you never know what can happen in football. Let me just leave you guys with this. As Peter was about to interview Graham Potter in the flash zone, Todd Bowley came down into the tunnel. They embrace this very joyous embrace. And Todd Bowley, I think the state of affairs at Chelsea right now, after winning that game, he was drinking something which to me looked like a beer. So it's a little bit of a celebration moment right now for Chelsea, getting over this hump and into the next round.
Is that judgment, Nico?
No, not at all. You win, you're the owner of the team, you can have a beer.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
that guy can buy beers for the whole stadium if he wants.
Broadcasting that story is definitely different to the way you told me.
No, don't make me look bad. Fake news, fake news.
Get Guillaume back.
Isn't that what this program is all about?
No.
Peter, before we let you go, have you gotten over Jamie's attack earlier on in the show?
Yeah, I'm very, very, very sorry, Jamie, that I didn't hear it. I didn't hear any of it. I heard the 7th of March.
Our audio connection wasn't good in that hit.
No, we had terrible sound troubles pre-match. It's all sorted out now. So I know you prepared and it took you a long time to come up with that. You forgot one thing, though, when it goes to 7, that's the 7 own goals that you scored. If you put that in, it would have been brilliant.
All right, boys, we're going to have to let you go. But Peter, you're going to be at Tottenham tomorrow for their game against AC Milan. Nico, you're going to be in the studio with us, so we look forward to seeing both of you then. Have a good one. See you later, guys. Thank you.
Out of order, big man.
We're going to go to a very quick break. Stay with us. We've got more on CBS Sports Network. Back, final part for you. So Chelsea are through to the quarterfinals. Benfica are through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We've got 2 more places that are going to get filled up tomorrow. That is between the games between Tottenham and AC Milan. Milan leading 1-0 from the first leg in Italy, and Bayern PSG. Bayern at home in this one, already leading 1-0. It's just massive fixtures. Tomorrow's a really tasty day.
It's massive, but we've got to talk about PSG. Kylian, he's back. He's back. I don't care. I've had enough. He was injured last time. Come on. It nearly was the difference. Tomorrow, Kylian is going to be the difference. Remember I told you here.
I could be the last time we see Lionel Messi play in the Champions League.
Yes.
Wow.
Do you think so?
This season.
Looking at you.
No, he said it.
I know.
So
you said, wow, so I'm thinking...
No, me, if you ask me, I just want to see what tactically Bayern Munich is going to do. That's what I want to see, how they're going to stop the big man, because that 5-3-2 is not bad at all when they play like that. That's what I want to see, but go back to your point.
I think it'll be the last time we see Messi playing in the Champions League this season. I think Bayern Munich will go through. OK. You've got big analysis for us tomorrow. Very quickly, what's it on? Very quickly.
The shape of Paris Saint-Germain and your man, Kiki.
Make sure you join us for that. We are on CBS. We will see you then for the pre-game. Good night, everybody. Goodbye.